Hello there, and welcome to my little arty corner of the internet. I trust you're all doing fine and well. It's Sunday the 9th of January. 9th of January. We're nearly a third of the way through January already. How does the time go so quickly? I have no idea. But anyway, today is day number 9, because it's the 9th of January, in the Fragments for Your Imagination challenge, and this is going to be a very quick video because everything's getting a bit samey with these in some ways. This was a very interesting one to do, so bear with me. The fragment today is from a tangle pattern called Kaas, K-A-A-S, by Emiko, Kaneko, CZT, and it's a very geometric, square-based pattern, and my little brain couldn't work out how to use anything other than a square. In fact, at first I thought, how on earth can I vary this? Well, you can see quickly I worked with it. It's not a tangle or a fragment I'm familiar with, so you might see there's lots of pencil lines on these variations, because that's the best way I found to make sense of this. But once I made sense of it, the possibilities are there. Some more successful than others, some that could do with some development, but there are possibilities. So this is the basic fragment up here, and unusually for me, I did draw it in stages so I could see what was going on. As I said, it's not a fragment that is familiar to me, and I haven't been able to work out a way of drawing this that makes sense to me other than using pencil grid lines. First variation I did was actually this one, where instead of having straight lines here, I just bowed them inwards a bit. And it makes kind of a bridge, I suppose, a bridgey kind of shape. And underneath I changed the ends, instead of being just this blunt triangular shape really, into something that's got a bit more character to it. And that was fun. Then the next one I did actually didn't have this bit in the middle. It was more like this one, kind of, where I made this middle band here much wider. And that meant that the bit sticking out underneath it was very narrow. And as I was looking at it, I was thinking, I wonder what if I put a window in the middle of that band. So I drew a circle and I carried on this band underneath. So that gives it even more dimensionality, and that was fun. I even did it here. I used little stoppers on the end of the line that I put through the middle of hearts, and put some hearts in the middle. So again, that's possible. And of course I haven't put aura lines around these windows and anything else you could do. So I particularly like that kind of idea, I have to admit. This was also an interesting one, where instead of completing this shape here, I just put that central line in and a couple of, well, circles and a dot at the end, just almost like placeholders. So almost like this is a belly band holding these in place. And the illusion, even though these are completely straight, this gives an illusion that this is actually looks like it's bent. These came to life with shadow, I do have to say. And I used Carbothello chalk pastels for this, and a paper stump or tortillon. Same kind of thing, really. So these are fun. They're just basically variations on this idea of changing shape. This one, I changed the orientation. I wanted to try to do this from side to side, and I couldn't work it out until suddenly I thought, oh, Angela, you're drawing that second square in the wrong place. Because it is a square within a square, and it's that inner square is the basis of how you draw this. And I turned it on its side, and it works. That could work as a really interesting fragment and tangle how you orientate them one to another. I have no idea, but it could be interesting. And to the point that you could actually, and this is me thinking now, is have one end going over of each and under, and my head can't get round that. I'd have to draw it out. These became quite fun, where I deliberately drew long, triangles on the corner. There's something about these thin ones that just I find very pleasing. And then instead of very straight edge triangles, I bent them outwards. Here, I suppose it's a triangular shape, but with the curves going inwards. So more like leaves trapped under there. So then the next thing, okay, let's change the end of that underlying strip and turn it into something vaguely medieval. I tried working in a rectangle. It works, but it feels not right. I'm sure if that was done as an overall pattern, it would have an interesting feel to it, because these would connect and would make circles and so on. So as a fragment, it feels odd, but put into a grid, I think it could work. Yeah, why not have flames coming out? But here, instead of straight lines, I created, or a curve that goes from side to side, I created like a tab. In Thomas Padros's tabs, except it's a cutout instead of a sticky uppy. Well, it could be a sticky uppy if you wanted, I suppose. This was interesting. It was just a variation again on tabs, but having these shapes sticking out. Here I decided to do spirals and complete the band there. This one was an interesting one, because I created these sort of like semicircles at the end, sort of crescent moons, but it looks almost like I've chopped through a cylinder at an angle. So an interesting kind of thing. This one is sort of like yesterday's fragment, Naki. I put an Naki in the middle of it. It's in a rectangle rather than a seed shape, but here's another seed shape. It feels awkward. It works, but it feels awkward. This was fun, and I didn't take these bits out to the edge. I just used the idea. Oh no, those should have been there. These ones went out to the edge. So instead of having a straight band, I put a couple of hearts on either side of a circle, so it looks a bit almost like a weird flower. And I suppose I could have, rotated it. This one is the one that needs a bit of work. It feels very odd with these very straight edges, but it's there too as an idea. The others, this one was interesting because this one came from this here, because not that one, this one, because I thought, oh, I wonder if I can make them work in a triangle. And I just thought, well, I'm going to have to split, it's going to have to go along one edge, the band, and the pointy bit up to the corner. And then I realised that I was actually drawing half of a square split diagonally. So I did this one. I thought, oh, let's put it together and see what happens. And I got that. Some more interesting ones. This was a fun one to do. Leaves instead of a straight band. That sort of works. And then I thought, let's have a look at circles, because circles are really extremely rounded squares. So like, there's the square, let's round it all the way round. And they'll work. All of these will go straight into a circle. But I also realised that it would be really difficult to work with less symmetrical shapes. I think it could work in a seed shape, but you'd need to think about, I think I'd want the band going across from the long side to the long side, and these pointy bits up towards the pointy bits, these sections. I haven't drawn it because I don't think necessarily, I don't know. Very quickly I will with you, just because I can. Let's have a think. But I think it won't be a strict variation of Kaas, Kaas. But I think it could be. I'm going to bend it in a little, like so, and then have this going this way. So I shall just black this in. It's not the best drawn, the best coloured, but very quickly. And then if I create this, and then I can just pop something underneath here just to give it the feeling that it's going underneath. And I will pop an aura around it, and I'll add a circle there so it feels like this is touching the outside edge, because that's what I've done with some, is I've put a circle, or somewhere else I put like crescent moons there for this to connect to, so it doesn't go all the way out to the edge. Sometimes I feel that's just a little bit on the I don't know, but that's it's not very well balanced, these two, but that would be a variation of it, and I think it would work in that. It's looking for symmetrical shapes that you could use. Having said that, these would be quite interesting done, is it triply, where you rotate them round, where you start with one and draw one next door, and I think you'd have all of these pointing inside, and then you add the other squares, and you know, you just mirror whatever is. So for the next, you know, route round this side, you just mirror that shape, and then the same. You get, you know what I mean, I'm sure, if you're familiar with this. So I have a page full of Kaas here. If you want me to draw some of these out in tomorrow's video, just let me know, because I will do. The other thing I've done this morning is I spent some time in my book for my sketchbook for this challenge, just creating some papers, some distress ink papers, and let me just turn a light on so there's perhaps a little bit more. Oh, that's a strange colour. There we go, that's a bit better, perhaps not. With texture and pattern, just some distress ink ones, different colours. Heart stencil, lots of hearts there. I've used roses. I've used this one, which is one of my favourites. Those lines, a bit of fabric came off the ink pad and I didn't notice, and it was stuck on the back, so it must have rolled on it. So you'll be seeing more of these as the month progresses. And this kind of pattern. So I had quite fun doing that. It was a nice way to spend a headachy Sunday morning. So I'm going to go back to this. I said it's just a quick video today, just very, very quick. It'll take me longer to put to create the beginning and the end, the intro and the outro of this, the images, than it does to actually record this. So I hope this makes sense. I hope that you'll have a go at drawing some variations perhaps, or use these as inspiration for your own. And I look forward to seeing you again. Just to say thank you for all the comments, all the likes, all the new subscribers. You are very welcome, as are all my old subscribers, as are people who just wander past and decide they're not going to subscribe or like or anything, but they enjoy what they see, because that's fine as well. It's called free will, and we do as we like. And I'm wittering, so I'm going to say take care of yourselves, find time to be creative, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Bye.